Hello, I'm Dave Koji, and welcome to the Pickleball Lounge, episode number 6. The Pickleball Lounge is where I speak to influential members of the pickleball community about their involvement and experience on and off the pickleball court. Before we begin, I'd like to thank Astria Pickleball for sponsoring this episode. Head over to astriapickleball.com for the innovative paddles and gear. Today's very special guests are teammates from the Peoria Pythons, a pickleball team out of the Arizona Pickleball League, an up-and-coming independent pickleball league making their mark in the pickleball community. Jess, Ryan, and Michael from the Peoria Pythons will be joining us, along with Amy, their GM. There's another member of the team, Takako, or Taco, as I saw one of her nicknames was, could not make it, but she is another valued member of that team. The Arizona Pickleball League has a very unique game format which introduces quarters with time clocks. It will be diving into that in just a moment. Jess, Ryan, Michael, Amy, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Awesome. So I do want to start off by having the audience kind of understand each one of you a little bit better. And so I'm going to go around the room here and just ask if you wouldn't mind just kind of introducing yourself and really trying to understand where your background is and when you started to play. So we'll start with Jess.
Yeah, so my name is Jessica Wilcox. I grew up playing tennis all my life, so played high school, college tennis. From there, I graduated college. I started working at a tennis academy. My mom, unfortunately, suffered a actually a minor knee injury and dragged me out onto the pickleball courts with her at the local neighborhood courts. And back then, YouTube, pickleball, there was none of these like young bucks. There was no Anna Lee, there's no really at the time. So when you YouTube, it's mostly older. So I did go out into the courts and it was an older crowd, but everyone was so welcoming and it was just so addicting coming from a tennis background to try to this should transfer over well. And I definitely went out there and got my butt kicked the first time, back for more to try to figure out what this crazy sport was. From there, and I've had a fun time with it.
Awesome. Appreciate that. Ryan.
Good day. Good day. I have been playing since about 2017. I was a transition from tennis as well. I think a lot of our teammates are tennis players, but I played tennis juniors, high school, college. Picked up pickleball out in California, and like Jess, a lot of the players were older, very welcoming, very high level. So I learned very quickly the game. 7 years later, I'm living out in Arizona. I'm working full-time in pickleball, coaching, teaching, running tournaments. It's a big passion for me, and I was lucky enough to get invited to play for the Pythons, and I think we have probably the best team in the league as far as chemistry and personalities, and our GM made that happen. Amy.
Awesome. Well, Amy's to thank, looks like. Next, Michael, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so I say that I flirted with pickleball probably in 2020, finished out my collegiate tennis career in 2022, and then started kind of all in, committed to pickleball 2022, probably around the summer, August, and then have been slowly trying to grind and get into the pro game. Was lucky enough to start taking it seriously in Arizona, where there's tons of really high level players that I've been able to learn from. And yeah, that's kind of how I got into it.
So Amy, before we get to you, when I've been doing these shows and talking to people, everyone usually starts off with like a slaughter, meaning they started it, they got slaughtered. Like, how can I get better at this game? Do you all Is any one of you start off and it was like awesome at the game, or did you all have a little growing pains?
My first one, I was actually playing with like in one of my friends' older, like their dad, and we won like the first tournament we ever played. So
Oh
I
wow,
mean,
okay.
a little bit of a success story. We were at a local like random park. It was like I can't even remember, the level or anything like that. I think it was just open.
Yeah,
But we won the event. So I mean, I did okay in my first go around.
well, that's good.
That's cool.
Ryan, how about you?
My first go around, I think I started in Simi Valley, California. So I got thrown in with Jack Monroe and the Jason Monroes of the world who were already playing pro events. So it took me a little bit longer to catch up to them. But, the game when I first started just seemed fast and confusing. And, I think a month or two later, it slowed down and, I really started picking it up because tennis, you're just totally different game. You're taking huge swings. You're not playing as close to the net. And, I think I picked it up within a few months and slowly got better, month by month.
Sorry, Amy, I think I cut you off there.
Oh, I was just commenting that of course Michael went out and won his first.
I-
Doesn't surprise me.
Naturally skilled.
No, I think
Okay.
it was my partner carried me or something like that. Because I just remember, just standing in the corner.
So, Amy, I do want to get to you, and you have a unique position, and if you wouldn't mind talking about that as well with the team.
Sure. So I am obviously their general manager. I also work for the Orchard. I'm an event coordinator here at the Orchard with Emily, my counterpart. And when they were deciding on GMs and we were discussing it, I was like, can I throw my name in the hat? I would love to do it. And Emily did not want to do it. So I was like, I totally think that would be fun. I'd love to take on a team. And so they, let me. And we kind of at the Orchard, we sort of facilitated picking the players based on skill, performance, how likable they are, their integrity. And so when they were kind of assigning the teams, at first they had me assigned to what I thought was going to be the best team. And I was like, no, I don't want the best team because that would look bad. And work at the Orchard. I'll take the Pythons. It'll be fine. And we are the best team. So it's like, and everybody's like, whatever you pick to be, oh, you don't know who Michael Lloyd is or Trev. You act like you're so, blonde. And I was like, I swear I got so lucky. So it's just been amazing.
So did you pick the team, or was the team established and you started to oversee them?
That's right. The team was already established. So basically the Orchard crew, the Jigsaw team, went through players based on our pickleball knowledge and also speaking with other players. Who do we know that's the top players in Arizona? And we sort of assembled players and then put them on teams kind of to have a unity. Like we didn't want one team with all the top players and then another team. We tried to make it as fair as possible. Now that we're in the league, obviously there's a little bit of discrepancy. Potentially some people have really adjusted well to playing at the Orchard. It's definitely a different environment, and some people haven't adjusted. I feel like my team's chemistry and connection has bonded us so much that it's made us even better. So it's not just the skill of the players on the Pythons, but they just click. It's awesome.
Yeah, I obviously, especially when you're playing doubles, mixed doubles and so forth, or even men's or women's doubles, it's so important that you do have comfort with the other player, and it's good to like each other too. I'm sure that helps. So thanks, Amy. We'll be diving into more of that side just a moment, but my second question, maybe Amy, this is directed towards you, and I've done my research, of course, and but can you just tell the viewers, looking at this for the first time and saying, what's the Arizona Pickleball League? How would you describe that league to someone who's new to it?
So I would say it's a league with the best players in Arizona, not only necessarily talent, but also their dignity and their showmanship. So there's a lot of talented players in Arizona. Could we have picked and made 10 teams? Probably. So, I mean, we definitely could have, but we wanted to pick people we thought would put on a good show, would compete with dignity and integrity, and just enjoy playing together. So that it's the top players in Arizona, and who perform in front of a live audience and a live stream.
Awesome. That's really cool. So let's talk about the unique format of the APL. You have 4 quarters in which you can earn unlimited points under side out scoring. And during each quarter, there's a time clock. So how does that work exactly? And do you all like that format? Because it's new, definitely.
I actually like it. I think it's something different. It took me a little bit of time to get used to it, but I think we've adjusted pretty quickly. Because you're looking at the clock a lot, just kind of figuring out where you're at as far as that matchup and as far as your team. The last 2 minutes it stops, so you can kind of strategize and just figure out, hey, where do we want to go in these last 2 minutes? Are we winning? Do we want to open up the lead? Do we want to come back a little? So for me, it's been fun. It's been new. I like it.
Jess?
Yeah, it's been in terms of strategy where, especially when the 2-minute time comes and the ball is in motion, depending on where the score is at, do we slower? Are we down a little bit and we want to play a little bit faster? And it's great, like when Michael has his huge serve, huge returns, and quick points to get us either ahead or to get us closer or behind. He can get us closer so that in the next matchup we're not having to make up. So the strategy changes a lot, and we kind of have to be mindful of that. I think once or twice reminding our team, like, hey, slow it down, like we've got a good lead, just so a lot of things can change within that format.
Michael?
Yeah, I mean, I agree a lot with what Treff and Jess said. Like it's cool, it's different at first. It takes some getting used to, but I think kind of my favorite thing about it is that there's nowhere to hide. Like if you've got a weak matchup, that score is going to be exposed, and it's not like it's just going to be, oh, like we won mix 1, we got destroyed in mix 2, but it's just 1-1. No, it could be we barely won the first one and then we got destroyed in the second one, and now we've got a huge gap to make up. And so I think that's cool. It rewards teams that are well-rounded. It rewards teams that are able to help one another in the middle of that. If Treff and I are down bad, we can look to Jess and Takako to kind of pick it up in the beginning and give us, more of an edge going into our quarter. And I think that's a really cool kind of differentiator between this format and some of the other team formats.
Yeah, I did forget to mention that it's cumulative scoring. So, and my apologies for the audience, is that after the 4 quarters, whoever has the most points wins. Sorry, Amy, cut you off there.
Oh no, I was just gonna add that I like it. I was just gonna say I like it because it's still the same scoring as normal pickleball. But like even in our first matchup, we were down 10 points going into the ladies round, and we were able to come back. So it wasn't like a game to 11 and it ends. It's sort of, it takes on the traditional other sports scoring, like soccer or football or baseball. Just because you lose one match or one quarter or the second quarter, you still have the option to come back and win, or you have to strategize, like Jess said, and you're down and you have to speed the game up because they're slowing it down because they want to run the clock out.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Cool. Now, I'm curious to know, that you put this team together, or your team was put together. How did you all meet? Did any of you know each other before this, or you got put on the team and say, hey, here's Ryan, here's Michael, Amy, Takako?
I'm gonna say we all knew each other before this. I play was pretty much on a weekly basis. I met Treff probably years ago when we were both in California. I met Michael at the Lakes tournament. I met Michael probably, what was that, 2 years?
Yeah, we met in I think it was 2020, right as I first started playing for the first time out in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, when I was living in Texas. So yeah, we've all pretty much known each other before this all started. The fun part about it is that we can all be, even the other team of them as well. So we can all compete on the court and kind of chirp at each other. But like I've said before, at the end of the day, we're all friends. We all know each other, hug afterwards, and we could all just go have dinner together too. So I think that's also a real aspect to the league, is that we all are really close.
Yeah. Now, I did hear an interview with Patrick Sullivan Jr., who I believe is the owner of the league there. And he mentioned that he may be looking to expand the league with one or two more teams. What do y'all think about that? Is that something you welcome to see the growth? Oh, just curious.
I say bring it on. Pythons will take on any team, any area. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of talent in Arizona. So, I mean, obviously you want to be careful with, not to water it down, but I think we have enough talent here where you could add teams and still provide, those matchups and the entertainment. But yeah, I'm a thumbs up for that for sure.
One thing we've been also discussing at the team, and I can let you guys know of as potentially season 2, is even getting a team of 6, so that then we have that option to sub.
Interesting.
An option. Then, again, it's just something that we've thrown around. So then let's say, because we've had matches, I mean, we were in a match 2 weeks ago and the girls beat the other girls 22-7, our girls.
Yes.
So it's a blowout. So at that point, if you have a lady on the bench, maybe you can swap someone, maybe, just like they do in any other sport. So that has been an option of discussion.
I don't think anyone can take on our girls though. No. That's going to be an issue for every team. I think we have
they could just keep subbing
women. So good luck. You can have 8 women and it's still not going to matter.
At the same time, right?
Yeah, same time.
It's interesting. I love this idea, but who's bringing on these innovative ideas? Is this Patrick Sullivan coming up at late at night thinking of this stuff, or you GMs meet with him, give him ideas? How does this all come about?
I mean, we have a lot of hot tub talks. That's about it. No, yeah, it is mostly, we have a really huge creative team at Jigsaw and the Orchard, and any idea is welcomed. They might not come to fruition, but Yeah, I mean, obviously Patrick is extremely creative and he has a lot of talented people under him, and we just talk about things that we think would make maybe the league a little better, and that we can keep growing. We don't want it to stop at one season.
Yeah, it's so I love this. It's not you make your own rules. You innovate and grow at your own pace, and that's what's great about this. And I think that's another interesting idea is having subs come off the bench, because long term, maybe you're developing these players, right? Maybe, if you look at college basketball, you have your top five, and maybe you have some guys off the bench, but you also have people that are developing, right? And maybe you look long term. So it's a very interesting aspect of the game. Okay, so now I do want to take a break from the questions. I do want to get into this new segment I call Who is Most Likely. This is a fun thing. I'll be asking who is most likely questions, and you tell me which of your teammates would likely engage in this behavior. Now, just for the audience, they have not been prepped on what these questions are. This would be brand new. Okay, and then we can chime in. All right, you can throw out a name. Okay, number one. Who is most likely to throw a paddle out of frustration?
Michael?
I was gonna say
Trev.
Mike too.
Trev.
I'm going
paddle in
Trev.
my life.
Really?
No.
I'm going with Trev on that one.
Okay,
Yeah,
Trev.
I'm gonna go with Trev.
What do you think, Jess?
I feel like Michael's pretty composed. Trev is also composed, but like all of a sudden he's had like bursts of positive so far, but it's like very surprising. So see him surprisingly decide to throw a paddle.
Gotcha. Of course, it's a very important first question. Number two, who is most likely to be the most cranky after a match?
Amy, because she's the coach.
I was gonna say Trev again.
I think Trev.
I'm the most emotional, I guess.
Yes.
I'm gonna throw Jess under it just for
Yeah,
fun.
I could see Jess too.
I could see Jess getting a little cranky.
Oh, really? If you don't give me some food.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, this is a great segue because so the next one's about dinner. So you'll go out to dinner, right? Who is most likely to skip out on a team dinner bill?
Nobody. We're all just great people.
Oh, great answer.
Yeah.
Great people.
Yeah. All right.
I don't picture anyone doing that. No.
Not at all.
Well, that's good. Good
Maybe
integrity.
everyone will offer to pay, so yeah, we're good.
That's fantastic. Next, who is most likely to be voted most responsible on your team?
Takako.
Taco probably. Yeah. It's
Taco for sure.
And
Why is that?
She manages my schedule on a weekly basis.
Yes.
So.
What's that,
like,
Amy?
Yeah, she's just like she's just so sweet and so positive and so happy, and that's probably why she would be voted that. She's got plans, for pickleball 2 weeks in advance, and yeah, just a great person.
Oh, yeah.
I noticed also, and it's probably a maturity thing, because I know she's a little bit older, and I noticed that there's big age gaps between the players, which is very interesting. So it doesn't matter your age. If you're good enough, you're going to be playing, right? Amy?
Yeah, I would agree. We have 2 players that are of the senior age.
Yeah.
Both are solid, strong. It's probably getting a lot hard. It is a little harder, like once they just happen to be unique. Can all 50-year-olds do it? No, these guys are playing so hard and fast. It is very intimidating. That game has changed a lot.
Yeah, it's getting a lot faster, right?
But it works for
up.
Takako and Chris Headings for sure.
Yeah, I know. I think Michael likes it. I think I saw a promo. You like the speed ups. Was it Michael or Ryan like the speed ups? I think it was Michael.
I like, yeah, I want the hands battles, the speed ups.
The hands battle.
I mean,
That's right.
If I see somebody, cocking back and getting ready to speed something back at me, I'm just like, okay, here we go.
You're in all your glory at that point.
Just get out of the way.
I know. Bye.
Who is most likely to trash talk to the other team?
Trash.
Oh, that's hard.
Yeah.
Trev and
I think, well, for me, it's only when Caden's
slightly
playing.
Michael.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Trev and I both have said a thing or two on the court
Yes.
here and there, so we're willing to
Yeah.
talk the talk and walk the walk.
Excellent.
You gotta-
For each other.
Oh, do you do it to each other at all to get each other riled up?
Trev and I are just like on the court, just firing each other up. It's mostly just yelling at one another. He hits an insane shot. I'm just yelling and chest bumping, and
I
not a
like
lot
it
of
when those-
actual words.
They're running
hit
around
celebrations
the
are-
court.
I saw. I think it was Ryan who was running around the court in one shot. I saw it in an episode. I think it was. So Amy, are you on? And I didn't see this. I'm sorry. Are you on the court with the team when they're playing?
Yeah,
You're with
on
them.
the sidelines.
Okay.
She's in charge of the chicken.
Yes. Did you not see game one?
Awesome.
Yeah, so I will, well, our team, it's a team environment, so we can call it out ball after the point's over. We can challenge, we can all jump in and do that as well. It's not just me, or it's not just the people on the court.
Yeah. Okay. Who would be voted the best teammate?
I think we're
Oh,
all
I got
good.
both
Yeah,
of my
every-
teammates
oh my
here, so
God.
I'm like, oh, which one do
Yeah,
I say?
Yeah.
We all play
And-
with each other, and I think I feed off of a positive and a good partner, and like I played with all three of them, and they're never rolling their eyes, they're never down, they're always positive, they're always celebrating.
Yeah.
So like I think that's
Yeah.
what makes us unique, is just I think everyone's kind of on the same page, and we try to really support each other. So I'm gonna vote for all four.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the if you are feeling bad about yourself, God, they're just there to lift you back up. It's definitely a good environment.
This sounds like a great team culture for sure, which is really cool. You don't want to be miserable playing. The
Yeah.
game is fun by itself, but having great players
Yeah.
and good people playing with you is also a great thing.
Yeah, and it's not even like match days too. Like it's beyond match days. I mean, Michael and I talk about this. Like the group chat is like our like to each other. And we're getting hyped up. We're communicating all the time. So I think that's a really cool aspect of our team, is like, I know we've talked about so much about that, but every day we're talking to each other.
Yeah, it seems like you guys are a good face of the Arizona Pickleball League, right? It's a fun league, great people, and good action, and innovative way to play the playing format, which is really cool. So my last question here about in this segment is, who is most likely to be the first person to be inducted into the Arizona Pickleball League Hall of Fame?
I'm the oldest, so or no, Chicago for sure.
You might retire the first, so
Um,
then you have to be retired to be inducted.
It's gotta be
Gotcha.
Michael's
Excellent.
young. Michael's
Yeah,
just
I'll
for-
be the least likely,
Yeah.
so I can play in it as long as possible.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So getting back to some other questions here. I don't think there's a draft like MLP. So how do y'all get picked to be on the team?
So that was, the Orchard and Team Jigsaw basically came up with the players. Is there a potential that if this league grows and we have owners, that the teams get redrafted? That's an
Oh.
option. But for season one, we kind of had to come up with it quick. We wanted to start in March. We just sort of put the teams together.
So what are you looking at? Are you looking at how do you know these people exist? Like, where are you seeing their names? How do you know them?
Mm-hmm.
Are you looking at Duper? Are you going online? Who's on Arizona? Are you doing that stuff? If you could just kind of indulge me in how you actually finding these players.
Well, I mean, I think just like me, I've been in the pickleball community since 2017. Patrick and Ashley, since 19. Emily. So we all kind of had a pretty good pulse. I might say, hey, Trev, any, recommendations? I think we heard Michael's name from like Cimarron. She was initially picked for the Tornadoes. So we got some names, did a little research, and kind of figured out integrity and that way who would kind of meld together. So really it was just who we kind of knew, looking up Duper, looking up player ratings. And now we have an application process. So people are applying and I'm like, oh, I've never heard of this person. Oh, here's a person we never heard of. So more people are coming out of the woodwork which is good for the future if we expand.
Yeah, it's good to have interest. So this is deemed as, I'm quoting the website, a farm system. So do the players have ambitions to go to like an MLP type league, or ambitions to stay in this league and see how it blossoms?
Pretty sure anyone on any of the teams will go to MLP if they were asked. So yeah, I think it could be a jumping for some people. Some people maybe, like Takako, she's senior pro. Like, I think this is just a great opportunity for her to showcase her skills. But yeah, Michael Lloyd gets a call today. He's jumping on any team in MLP, and I think it's a good way to showcase the young talent and give them a chance. I think Pessa played in one of them. He's on the Scottsdale team. So we've already had, one player, basically sub in for MLP. So yeah, I think it's definitely everyone would definitely be interested. So
one thing I want to say too with our league is we want the best for our players. We want Michael to do the best in life and the best in pickleball. And we want Jess to do the best in life and the best in pickleball. So they get a call from MLP. There's no competition here for us. He can still play for Arizona Pickleball League. He can play for MLP. It's different than some of the other leagues. You have to sign with them. They won't let you play with anyone else. Right. We want them to do the best that they can. And we play on Tuesday nights, so it doesn't really interfere with anything else.
I was going to say that's kind of the dream for me would be to get to MLP, but Tuesday nights I've got available. I would love to continue to play on the Arizona Pickleball League as long as they'll have me. So that would be the best scenarios, best of both worlds.
So we may see a Michael Lloyd versus Ben Johns.
Yes,
what are you telling me?
And it could be an Arizona Pickleball League. You never know.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's very cool that you guys are open and supportive of everyone's growth and not like, no, you're not going anywhere. We're signed you, you're staying here. You're like, hey, we want to see you grow. That's in business or whatever. That's the best philosophy. I actually love hearing that. It's like your managers, your owners are like, look, we want to see you succeed. Yay, be with us. We'd love to have you. Play with you as long as you want and can. We want you here, but want to see you grow. I think it's awesome too. It's great for the Arizona Pickleball League if Michael does get called up, if they're like major league, minor league to major league, if he gets called up, hey, where'd you come from? That's great for Arizona Pickleball League, knowing you're developing this talent and they're coming up, so that's pretty cool. So my last question is, where do you see the Arizona Pickleball League in a couple of years' time from now?
You guys answer. I've talked so much.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be hopefully around for years to come. I think it'll be a great platform for, continuing to develop up and comers in the area. I myself consider myself one of those up and comers, and there's already 4 or 5 guys I've met within the last couple of months that are just now getting into it and taking it seriously, and I could see them, being in the next league, or maybe they're in the third season or whatever it is. And I think there's going to be a ton of people coming up and really appreciating the opportunity that the Orchard is providing all of us.
Yeah, that's cool. Jess, where do you see it going?
I mean, I definitely from a standpoint of like I've noticed like more support. I think more Arizona people to know my name, and I think that's good as an up and coming player or make a bigger impression in the pickleball world, even in like when it comes to sponsorships too. I've kind of really dived into being more active on our social media, just because I do think that that people are starting to recognize like who we are and they're not just in Arizona. So from that perspective, I think it's going to grow more and more, and it's an opportunity for up and coming players to get their names out there. In a pickle fast with so many people jumping on the scene left and right. It can be kind of this opportunity. It could be really big for you, and a stepping stone to bigger things.
Yeah. So we're just about out of time here, but I just want to say that I'll be dropping links to you can see Arizona Pickleball League in the Pythons, but it has been an absolute pleasure having you all on. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Dave.
Take care, everyone. Good luck to you.
Yep, have a good one.
All right, thanks.
Bye.
Bye.